Okay, here we are. Welcome back. Today, or right now, it's actually being filmed in sequence, but we're going to discuss the differences between deeds and achievements in World of Warcraft. So achievements actually just came out when the Wrath of the Lich King expansion came out, and here's a look at your achievements. Again, I've only been playing Wrath for a couple of weeks now. I took a break from it, so my achievement points are really not all that high. But what you'll notice is you've got achievements. You've got general achievements, questing achievements, exploration, player versus player, etc. And these are just achievements that you unlock during the game. And some of them are kind of corny, and some of them are actually kind of cool. The main reason I'm bringing up achievements in World of Warcraft are nothing more than bragging rights. It's to say, hey, I've spent this much time working on this type of an actual goal, and I did this. I spent this much time in my dungeons. I've spent this much time running around the world. You'll notice one of the things is world events. Not world events, but exploration. Each of the maps, as you go around and unlock every area of the map, and as you can see, this is the Warcraft. These are the three realms that we have. We've got Northrend, Eastern Kingdoms, Kalimdor, and obviously we also have Outlands, which is another continent. If you physically go to each one of these maps and you unlock every area in gray, then you get an exploration deed. Great, but literally all it is a compare and a contrast. As you run into other players in the game, you can highlight them and you actually right-click on them and you can compare achievements. And you can see that this person has 4,360 achievements, and these are all the achievements in comparison to my 1,205 achievements. Cool, however, I like LOTRO's approach to it. The way that Lord of the Rings does it is they're called deeds, and deeds actually benefit you in the game. So same concept, we have skirmishes, instances, hobbies, and then different deeds for the different realms. So if I go to Eredor, these are all the different maps. So this one is in the Shire, this one's in Heirloom, North Downs, etc., etc. As you do these deeds, you'll see like this deed here, I have to kill 120 crawlers in troll shawls, and I get a specific reward. That deed is not that great of a reward. However, here is one. I have to defeat 160 trolls in troll shawls, and I'm rewarded with a level 4 zeal. Now, zeal is one of those traits that we talked about a little bit earlier, and if I actually bring up my traits log here, where is it? Traits. Where is my traits? There, traits. Nope. Where's my traits? Open character craft. Okay, so I got to open this and go to traits. Here we go. So these are the different virtues and traits that I can receive in the game. And you'll notice I have level 8, level 6, level 3, level 10, level 4, etc. As you go through and unlock those achievements in Lord of the Rings Online, we call them deeds in LOTRO, they actually benefit you in the game. So if you actually spend the time to grind out 160 trolls, it's going to give you another level of zeal, and zeal is one of those traits that you can equip into your class, and it will benefit your character. And as you can see, I have a level 10 loyalty equip, and this gives me an additional 30 points of vitality, 62 points of power, and 150 on my armor. So this actually gives you the ability to customize and earn something for the time spent playing the game, whereas with Warcraft, you do the deeds, you do the achievements, and you brag about them. In LOTRO, you do the deeds, and you actually better your character for doing so. So that's one of the differences of deeds versus achievements, and you have an unlimited amount of customization when you're building out your trait classes and your trait trees, whether you want to go, you've got your 3 different, legendary traits that you can choose, and legendary paths on how you're going to fight. There's different ways to build out those characters, and it's a lot of fun to actually balance it out. As you can see, if you do certain traits, there's different ways of doing legendaries, and if you equip more in one section, you get certain benefits. Kind of like when you get bonuses for having 5 pieces of gear within World of Warcraft, and as you can see, I'm actually working at that now. I'm working on my gladiator, and I've got 2 of 5 pieces, which give you these additional bonuses that are listed on the actual the gear sets. Get the same thing with Lord of the Rings. If I look at my gear sets, I actually have all of what's called my rad gear or radiance gear. I have all 5 pieces. And they give me bonuses by having all 5 of those pieces. You can see that it's listed with a bonus and additional function that that gear gives me. We don't have sockets in our gear, so we can't benefit our gear that way, but we do have those deeds, which we can go out and actually improve our, different things like might and agility and stamina, so on and so forth with LOTRO. World of Warcraft, you have, let's see, what is the other thing that we can talk about? I'm actually going to head back to Delarian here while we're discussing this. Within World of Warcraft, we've talked about legendary. Oh, let's talk about legendary weapons from LOTRO. And this is something that I recently have seen by getting certain gear here in Warcraft, which binds to an account, which is actually kind of cool. What happens is you get some gear, you buy it from one of these vendors in Dalaran, again, please don't chastise me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, and that gear can be on any one of your characters within the actual account that you have. Wow, I'm getting some killer frame rates dropping here with 2 MMOs running. Anyways, if you go up to these gear vendors in Warcraft, you can get this gear and it binds to your account. You can take that gear and you can give it to any character at any level that is associated with your Warcraft account, which is really cool. You can share gear as you're leveling alts and doing whatnot, and it's actually from the heirloom vendor. And so this gear binds to the account, and you can pass it down to one of your alts and use it there, and it levels its way up as you level your character. Lord of the Rings has a very similar situation, only it's specifically based on your weapons. In Lord of the Rings, we have legendary weapons. In legendary weapons, you can have up to 6, depending on what kind of character you're playing. You can name them. My legendary axe is named Fred. My legendary trinket or class slot runestone that I have is named Bob. And what you do is you level. As you play the game, you'll notice I have level bars up here. And these are, as you're using those things, it levels up as you level your character. And then you are rewarded points, legendary points, that you can spend to improve the functionality of that weapon. I can make it have a higher DPS. I can get a better line of effect area, a range when I use the weapon, as well as slots. So as I go through the game and I get different weapons, I don't think I have any here. Here's one. I can actually take this weapon, do a comparison, and I can actually go to a weapons vendor and I can deconstruct that weapon and get these different relics that I can then slot into the weapon, and I can have up to 4 different slots. There's 4 different types of relics. There's settings, gems, stones, and crafted slots that I can then attach to my weapon. And that doesn't just benefit the weapon, it benefits my character as well. By having this specific gem slotted on my weapon, it gives me additional melee crit chance, it gives me additional agility, and it gives me some parry mitigation. This one here actually allows me to have more will, which is my life, tactical crit range, and in combat power regain. So that's one of the really cool things that I like, is actually being able to level weapons up. However, they are bound to the single character, whereas with World of Warcraft and the gear, you can send it around to your different alts, and you can utilize that that way. So that's pretty much it for this segment. Next I want to go through and I want to actually talk a little bit about gearing up and how you achieve getting gear for your character, whether that's grinding or crafting, which is another function we're going to discuss between the 2 games, is the crafting. But that's going to pretty much do it. We talked about deeds versus achievements, and we talked a little bit about how to maximize your character utilizing some heirloom gear or some legendary weapons and leveling up those weapons in Lord of the Rings. So let's take this on and start up with the next video.